Hey everybody, Angie Viper here, about to take you all on a very exciting cosplay adventure. I am currently wearing my Black Widow wig for the Avengers premiere, and as I'm sure you can see, it's pretty bright. Now, if you look at any of the reference photos of Natasha Romanova or Black Widow online, you'll see that her hair is typically a much more neutral, kind of brownish red than the colors that you see before you. So, we're gonna dye it. I'm pretty excited, and I'm going to take you all with me, so let's go! So here we are in the garage. I've got my wig up on a wig stand. Now, for dyeing a wig, you're not going to want the typical styrofoam wig head that you normally see people styling wigs on. I have here a metal wig stand. It costs about $5.75 at my local wig store. And that's going to help protect me from staining my wig heads. But it's still nice and sturdy and holds the wig up just fine. So, for materials, we start with FW acrylic artist ink. Now, I know many of you probably have never seen artist ink before. I do a lot of inking, so I'm mildly familiar with it. And the reason that you're going to want this is because it's thinner and it's a lot easier to grab onto the strands of the wig. This cost me about $6.75, and you're going to want to go to an actual art store, not a craft store like Michael's. Michael's deals a lot more heavily in crafts. You want an art store like Blick's, Swain's, somewhere like that. Plastic spray bottle. I have a decently small one. I'm hoping that it will be big enough. I'll probably have to refill it a couple of times. 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. This is going to be used to thin down the ink and make it easier for it to spread and to grasp onto the strands of the hair. And then also, it can be used to help you thin out the color to make a lighter color if the color that you have is too light. For my case, I bought this crimson, and it comes out basically exactly the same color as this wig, which is kind of a problem since I'm trying to change it. So I went out and picked up a bottle of sepia, lovely brown color, and mixed it in with the red. You can mix whatever colors you want to make whatever color wig you want. How sweet is that? I also have rubber gloves because I like to keep my hands clean. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to section off my wig to make it a little easier to dye. This is also the same way that I dye my own hair. Be back in a sec. So as you can see, I've got my wig in 3 sections. Beautiful. And then I have one very thin section here. And that's the section that I'm going to start dyeing on. Okay, so to mix up your color, there is actually measurements. If you check my blog, I have them broken down. I didn't use measurements because I'm crazy that way. So what I did was I filled up my bottle about 3/4 of the way, and I think I've got about 7 full stoppers of crimson and 2 stoppers of sepia. And I did a test on a strand of the wig, and it came out exactly the color that I wanted. So that's what we're going to go with. You can use more alcohol if you want a lighter color, less alcohol if you want a darker color. The less alcohol you use, though, the stiffer your wig is going to be, because it's basically just acrylic ink, sticking straight to the wig strands. So that is something to keep in mind. But anyway, at this point, we're going to put on our gloves and start spraying. Okay, so once each section is colored, take a brush or a comb. Ideally, you would use a fine tooth comb because you want to really get in there, but this wig is a little testy. So I'm just going to brush through this. Just starting at the bottom. Silly Angie. I'm going to brush through this to make sure that every strand in that section is getting saturated. You can see I'm struggling because it does tend to get pretty tangled. Okay. Now, we're going to let down another section of hair. Now, the beautiful thing about this being a wig and not actually human hair is that wigs are built in layers. You can kind of see the seam there. So I can really just look for the next seam on the wig and let that down. Okay, so I'm going to spritz this down and I will see you all later. And that's that. So, all of the color is on my wig and now it has to sit and dry. Ideally, it'll be on for a minimum of 2 hours. Really want more like 6 to 8. Mine will probably be somewhere around 4 to 5 because I'd like to get it washed off before I go to bed tonight. A few words of caution before I move on to the next thing. This is what my hands look like if I wasn't wearing gloves, which I was, thankfully. This is what your hands will look like. Look here. That's what my floor looks like. It also got really smelly in here really quick, so you definitely want to make sure that you're in a very well-ventilated area, or you'll probably asphyxiate. Okay, so it's been about 4 hours since I put the dye on. Normally I would probably like to let it sit a little longer, but it's getting a little late and I really don't want to leave this sitting overnight. So as you can see, kind of from the horrible yellow lighting in my bathroom, it is definitely much darker. I'll show you guys tomorrow when it's dry. I left a couple of little layers with the bright red to kind of leave a little texture in the wig, and I am super happy with the product right now. So my next step is to rinse, and basically all I'm going to do is stick this in my sink, run water on it, and you really want to like rub the hairs together and really make sure that you get all of the ink out, because if you leave any on there, it's going to be really stiff and really nasty, which you can probably tell it's pretty stiff and dry right now, and that is not what you want. But yeah, just make sure you rinse it really good. So I'm going to do it. Okay, so this is the final product. As you can clearly see, it is a much better shade than the neon red that we had at the beginning of the video, and I am very happy with the results. It looked a little scraggly when I pulled it out this morning, but I ran a brush over it and it looks like you see it right now. So hopefully any other cosplayers out there will find this tutorial useful. If you prefer written instructions, there's a link to my blog down in the description, so hop on over there. I'm going to go break in my new wig. I can't wait. So, I'll see you all soon, and have a good day. Toodaloo.